It is dismissive of medical practitioners to diagnose and to label psychically gifted Rh-negative celestial starseeds as depressed, bipolar, schizophrenic, and mentally ill, when in actuality, these source players are brave, awakened, advanced beings simply having experiences of traversing multiple dimensions while transforming their consciousness towards a higher development. It is imperative for medical practitioners to accurately diagnose patients, as treatment and prognosis differs greatly for psychically gifted Rh-negative starseeds. Schizoaffective disorder is defined as a mental disorder characterized by abnormal thought processes in an unstable mood. The diagnosis is made when the psychically gifted individual has displayed what is believed to be symptoms of both schizophrenia, usually psychosis, and a mood disorder, either bipolar disorder or depression, and does not meet the diagnostic criteria for schizophrenia or a mood disorder individually. The main criterion for the schizoaffective disorder misdiagnosis is the presence of what doctors claim are psychotic symptoms for at least 2 weeks without any mood symptoms present. These symptoms are misdescribed as hallucinations, delusions, disorganized thinking, depressed mood, and manic behavior. Misdiagnosing psychically gifted Rh-negative celestial starseeds can cause source players complications that can unfortunately lead to social isolation and suicide. Psychically gifted Rh-negative celestial starseeds do not have schizoaffective disorder. Rather, these advanced beings have been specially selected as divine messengers for the educational artificial reality training habitat community to use their activated extrasensory perception to deliver news and important information from the spirit world. It is a misconception to believe that souls that transition in death to the realm of the ancestors are completely gone, and that because they are dead, they are conscious of nothing at all. On the contrary, the souls of the deceased are always alive, and as they are now merely existing in just their astral form in a dimension located just outside of the physical material realm. These souls still have feelings of love, they have desires to express themselves through intimacy, and they even miss enjoying the taste of their favorite foods and the sweet scents of their most cherished perfumes and other fragrances. At times, these disembodied souls are saddened, hurt, and disappointed when their loved ones in the physical material realm treat them as if they are no longer in existence by doing such things as neglecting to play their favorite music or refusing to even speak their names aloud, never acknowledging their accomplishments, their birthdays, anniversaries, nor mentioning the lasting impact that they made on the lives of others. When their romantic partners in the physical material realm are feeling lonely, grieving over their lover's return to the spirit world, these souls in the astral realm dimension are also lonely and are also missing their romantic partners as well, but they are always attempting to reassure their beloved that they have not gone anywhere. They have only shed their lower density physical material body. High dosages of psychotropics hinder spiritual ascension toward masterhood for Rh-negative celestial starseeds chosen as the ones to spread the messages to others in the physical material realm that they are receiving from interdimensional beings in the astral realm dimension. Through chemical dependency on prescription medications, many psychically gifted ones have been reduced to entities drooling and screaming feverishly, attempting to rid their already weakened vessels of toxic drugs and docility. The overwhelming feelings of isolated loneliness as they repeatedly fail to receive necessary assistance from treasonous American Medical Association propagandists and venomous madmen that find pleasure in participating in tearing these individuals down as the psychic bridges connecting heaven to hell are torn asunder. Westernized medicine itself is the sorcery that is to blame for behavioral disorder conditions. These doctors that misdiagnose psychically gifted earth angels are the true demons that linger in the presence of patients. Medical practitioners that willingly choose to misinterpret and neglect those with extrasensory perception abilities are themselves the ones who are mentally ill, and it is these doctors whom are the ones that are cognitively disassociated and withdrawn from reality. The clairsenses, sometimes referred to as the sixth sense, have the rare special ability to instantly know whatever they wish without the need to perceive or experience it. The clairsenses can be described as a variation of enhanced senses, and it is a collective word phrase that includes any or all types of psychic sensitivity corresponding to the senses of seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, tasting, and touching. The clairsenses in psychic terms are translated as clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairtangency, clairalience, and clairgustance. Some additional gifts are clairomancy, clairempathy, and channeling. With the clairsenses, psychically gifted starseeds can acquire information by means independent of any of their known physical senses or previous experience. This applies to any and all kinds of information within as well as beyond this context of existence, knowledge, wisdom, experience, etc. This information can either be personal, such as memories and thoughts, or this information can be impersonal, such as academic knowledge and data. These clairsenses can be used passively as an instinctual reaction, or they can be used actively, for example, by the desire to know specific information. Perhaps the most famous of the psychic divine gifts and special abilities is clairvoyance, which translates to clear sight or clear seeing, and it is the ability to see visions with either the inner sight or with the physical eyes. It is a form of extrasensory perception to see, feel, and hear objects through paranormal means. Clairvoyance also covers seeing spirit beings and auras as well. Those who practice mediumship are often clairvoyant and also clairaudient, so that they can see and speak with those souls whom have passed over to the astral realm dimension. Other clairvoyant source players may see visions from the past, the present, as well as seeing actual future events that have not yet happened on our timeline. Psychically gifted ones have the ability to transcend the physical dimension where time exists and get information from the eternal never-ending now moment, where all events occur simultaneously. Clairvoyance is also the special ability to reach into another vibrational frequency and visually perceive something existing in that realm. A clairvoyant source player is one who receives extrasensory impressions and symbols in the form of sight beyond sight, or mental images which are perceived without the aid of the physical eyes and beyond the limitations of ordinary time and space. These impressions are more easily perceived in an alpha state and during meditation, though many clairvoyants can obtain visual information regarding the past, present, and future in a variety of environments. Clairvoyance is a talent that we Rh-negative celestial starseeds are generally born with, and as children, we can see and interact directly with our spirit guides. You may have noticed sometimes how toddlers point to seemingly nothing, or will stare fixedly at something most people cannot see with their physical eyes. At some point, as we are growing, many of us learn to ignore or suppress our clairvoyance because this special ability is not readily encouraged nor understood by most human adults in this modern world society. And so these skills become temporarily lost to us until we choose to reactivate them. Clairvoyant source players are able to see objects, animals, or people in spite of any distance involved. And in the case of a person or animal, we can judge their present condition or emotional state. Clairvoyance is often used as a general term encompassing phenomena such as telepathy, second sight, precognition, prophetic dreams, and prophetic visions. There have been a great deal of unexplained events that have happened around us, and in some of these events, the explanations for them occurring were taken directly from psychic readings. There are 4 types of clairvoyance known to psychically gifted ones nowadays. These are psychological clairvoyance, spatial clairvoyance, astral clairvoyance, and spiritual clairvoyance. The psychological clairvoyance is also known as psychic counseling. This refers to our like or dislike of some people which are at times unexplainable. Psychological clairvoyance provides explanations to these feelings that we have towards other people. Spatial clairvoyance, on the other hand, is also known as clear sight in space and time. Psychometry is clairvoyance in time, and it uses an object as a starting point and as a point of reference. This may also be exercised without using an object, but concentration focus on an object helps in maintaining the clairvoyant ability to work within those limits. There are some people who claim that they have no idea of possessing any psychic power, but when they are touching antiques or other old things, images and emotions come to their minds which make them automatically nostalgic. This type of dim clairvoyant perception is said to be more common than it is generally realized. The world of illusion is also known as astral clairvoyance, which is the perception of living beings which have no physical body. Spirit entities existing in the etheric and astral realm dimension may be seen as one's clairvoyance begins to activate, and their activities make an interesting field of study for the clairvoyant investigator. This field of clairvoyance requires great care in practicing, for this is about making contacts with various kinds of living beings, and not all of them are guaranteed to be friendly. The last type of clairvoyance is known as the spiritual clairvoyance. This type of clairvoyance suggests that our allegiance, virtue, sanity, and true spirituality can be found within the purview of our spiritual clairvoyance. In the end, all life, all consciousness, and all faculties come from the omniverse, with all of the work manifesting under the immutable principles of truth and natural law. Clairaudience, which is clear audio or clear hearing, means to be able to perceive supernatural sounds, words, and extrasensory noise from sources broadcasting from the astral realm dimension in the form of mental tone which one perceives without the aid of the physical ear and beyond the limitations of ordinary time and space. These tones and vibrations are more easily perceived in an alpha state and during meditation, although many Rh negatives with clairaudient ability can obtain verbal and sound-related information regarding the past, present, and future in a variety of environments. Clairaudience is also a form of channeling. Usually, clairaudience is defined as the perception of messages in thought forms from an entity that exists in another realm. The person receiving these messages hears the messages in their mind. Though words or songs may actually be heard the same way one hears a phrase or song running through their heads, the thought itself may be all that's transmitted. Because clairaudience is often confused with schizophrenia, it may be wise for those psychically gifted ones whom are in the beginning stages of their clairsenses activating to only share messages obtained through clairaudience only with people who understand. Clairaudience is one of the most handy skills to have in terms of gathering information, and also surprisingly simple to develop. In order to develop clairaudience or clear hearing, one can try automatic writing or even channeling. This develops one's inner sense of hearing, thereby discerning what is their own chatter of the mind and what comes to them from outside of the mind. Another way to develop clairaudience is to start talking to our angelic and interdimensional guides to develop a personal relationship with them. Once we have given them our permission for them to begin speaking to us, these non-physical beings will begin to communicate by putting words into our mind. Spirit beings can have a unique sense of humor, so these interdimensional entities will at times make funny remarks or even comments about what we are wearing or doing at that moment. So be prepared when having them enter your life if you choose to open that door to them. A channeler is a person who allows their body and mind to be used as a mechanism for etheric world intelligence and impress thoughts upon the consciousness to be spoken aloud, using one's voice or body to deliver psychic information or healing energy to others. Clairsentience, sometimes referred to as psychometry or clairtangency, is the clear sensation or to perceive information by a clear feeling within the whole body without any outer stimuli related to the feeling or information. The ability of clairsentience is quite common for sensitive and intuitive people. Rh-negative celestial starseeds are least likely to shut down this ability, as we tend to do all the rest. Clairsentience is all about sensing things about our surroundings and other people. We can pick up energy about the places we are in, such as homes or workplaces, since buildings and locations give off an energy spectrum just as people do. We can get a good vibe or feel distinctly uncomfortable in a certain place, or gather information about the past of that place. Clairsentience also allows us to sense spirit beings and what these souls are feeling. When around other people, those of us clairsentient gifted beings receive clear information about other people's character and their emotions as well. It is not easy to fool a clairsentient being for this reason, as we always have an uncanny feeling for what is going on with another person. Energy doesn't lie, so clairsentient gifted ones can often tell a lie when it is spoken by the feel of it, or if the corresponding emotions of the person do not fit with what they are saying. Extremely sensitive ones may wish to actively block the emotions and thoughts of others so as to block the negative energy, and this can always be done effectively with the use of crystals or by other means. Clairsentience grants source players the special ability to touch or to hold an object, stand in a specific place, and or touch the body of a person and sense the energy encircling that person, place, or thing. Energies can be light or heavy, joyful or foreboding, tough or gentle, peaceful or angry, good or evil, and are judged by the emotional impact on the clairsentient being. Clairsentient mediums are empathic and astropathic individuals who are able to experience and translate all kinds of energies. When picking up on negative emotions, a clairsentient medium may feel sick, while a positive experience may feel like sheer joy or a feeling of being safe and secure. The messages are usually more complicated than that alone and can be of great assistance when one must make significant decisions in life. Clairalience, sometimes listed as clairscent or clear smelling, is the special ability to be able to smell a fragrance or odor of substance or fluid which is not in one's surroundings. These odors are perceived without the aid of the physical nose and are beyond the limitations of ordinary time and space. Clairalience is a form of extrasensory perception wherein these individuals are able to smell scents from the past, present, future, or at locations not relative to them at distances beyond their normal olfactory ranges. Clairalience is surprisingly strong in many people. They just don't realize it. If one often smells their deceased grandmother's perfume or a rose garden that reminds you of your deceased relative, this is a sign of clairalience. Our loved ones communicate with us in many ways, including sending us these familiar smells. Claircognizance means clear knowing, and is a form of extrasensory perception in which source players are able to acquire psychic knowledge of all sorts about a person, object, place, skill set, ability, or event primarily by intrinsic means. This is a special ability to know something without a physical explanation of why we know it, as in it just comes to our minds. In addition, those that are gifted with claircognizance can psychically perceive information from past and future events or locations currently beyond their mental or sensory range. Furthermore, we can acquire knowledge from disembodied spirits and other extra-dimensional entities, enabling us to translate other biological senses into a cognitive equivalent. Claircognizance also allows us to receive changes to languages, memories, and judgment. If you had ever had experiences where you've known something without being consciously aware of how you know, then there is a great chance that you possess claircognizance. At times in our quest of remembrance within this current lifetime campaign, information becomes available to us without a vision or without a spirit being telling us. We just simply gain a level of knowingness that leaves absolutely no room for doubt in our minds. Claircognizance is not as well known or discussed as the other clairsenses, although most of us psychically gifted Rh negatives have the natural ability of clearly knowing things definite regarding the future. Clair empathy, or clear emotion, is the power to detect and perceive the emotional resonances from other locations and times. Astropaths and empaths are persons who can psychically tune in to the emotional experience of a person, place, or animal. Clair empathy is a type of telepathy to sense or feel within oneself the attitude, emotion, or ailment of another person or entity. Astropaths and empaths tune into the vibrations and can feel the tones of the aura. Clairgustance, or clear tasting, is the power to taste a substance without putting anything in one's mouth. Those who possess this special ability are able to perceive the essence of a substance from the spiritual or ethereal realms without their taste buds. Clairgustance allows one to receive a taste in their mouth from a spirit or an interdimensional being in the spirit world, and is a common way for psychic mediums to receive information. Clairgustance is also helpful for healers, as they may get a taste in their mouth that can help them to properly diagnose and to treat their client. Clairomancy is the power to discover or to declare something obscure or in the past, present, and future by divination or prophecy, as these individuals psychically perceive whether the supernatural omen is from either course of history. In some cases, those with the gift of clairomancy may even perceive in their mind the identity of other subjects that have been receiving, or that will receive a given supernatural omen, often at will. Clairtelepathy is also another form of extrasensory perception wherein the psychically gifted are able to perceive the thoughts, mental imprints, and mental links from the past, present, future, or at locations that are not relative to them. We as Rh-negative celestial starseeds are all born with divine intuitive gifts, and they can be channeled through our sight, hearing, thoughts, our body's sensory system, and our feelings. Our extrasensory perception, known as the clairsenses, are a major component of our pre-language survival system that stays with us through childhood and beyond. Many of us psychically gifted ones shut down our clairsenses to provide us with relief while we develop our brains, bodies, and learn more about becoming adults, as well as during specific periods of our lives where the logical mind is favored over the intuitive mind. Many of us have also shut down our clairsenses during periods of trauma where our baseline needs of food, shelter, and safety are not being met, such as when experiencing flight or fight response, and also during times of physical growth experiences, such as during soul lesson periods. Thankfully, even if your extrasensory perception and psychic abilities have been shut down, you can always reawaken these intuitive gifts at any time, and it all begins with relearning the language about each of the clairsenses, what they are, and how they manifest. While we Rh negatives are all most active in at least one area of the clairsenses, we will have support from a few other divine gifts, meaning that each of us psychically gifted ones typically have one very strong intuitive ability. Once you begin to practice and pay attention to that one intuitive gift, the other psychokinetic special abilities that support it will start to expand from there. Science and the medical field attempt to label everything that for so many years went without their understanding. Despite some advancements medically and intellectually, there have been many mistakes and oversights on many issues. This happens due to many in the science and medical fields assuming that each bipedal humanoid with similar symptoms are all dealing with the same conditions. While there are people in the educational artificial reality training habitat that are unstable and are mentally ill, out of the total number of patients being diagnosed with schizophrenia or another type of thought disorder, those psychically gifted Rh negatives that are being treated are really just experiencing the activation of their divine gifts and special abilities. Most of the symptoms that we see labeled under schizophrenia are also seen with psychically gifted ones who have not yet learned to control how open their energetic sensitivities are, or believe that they are losing their minds. So in return, they avoid socializing with others because they do not understand what it is that is happening to them, thinking that they are having a disturbance in their thought patterns and processes. In centuries of experience, we have seen that psychically gifted Rh negative celestial starseeds have been wrongly diagnosed with mental illnesses that the science and medical field have named, when in fact, these source players are not at all mentally ill in any scientific way. Taking the proper time to reflect and to really examine this subject of extrasensory perception and the clairsenses with some intelligent thought will help you to identify the different methods of receiving information to see which of these powers might be strongest in you. And it is also an excellent starting point on the path of rediscovering your divine psychokinetic gifts as well as your psychic special abilities.